That's good. And we're live.
Oh, hey.
How's it going, everybody?
What's up?
Welcome back to another week of Schmoozing with Soul Clap.
Schmoozing, schmoozing, schmoozing.
Schmoozing.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't
have the sound effects board, but I got a little
That's all
delay
good.
from my voice.
How you doing this week, Eli?
Man, I'm good. I'm good this week. This week, the weather got nice.
Ooh,
So
yeah.
upstate New York is finally springtime. So that really makes everything feel better, you know? It's also it's a little bittersweet though, because it's supposed to be Movement Detroit this weekend.
Oh, yeah, I know, man. Tell me about it. That is
Um,
like my favorite weekend of the
yeah,
year by
the best.
far. It is the best.
Man.
You remember when we drove from Boston?
Yeah, that was
with
our
Molina?
first movement, 2007.
That
I
was
think.
crazy.
We drove all the way from Boston, yeah, with Henry and Molina.
That was nuts. And then we got there and somebody like went the wrong way, you know, and ended up going to Canada, and they like got busted or something.
Oh yeah. It's one of our homies from New York, yeah.
Jeez.
Oh man.
I wonder what
Classic. I mean, I'm sure that happens all the time though. That's like the classic move, right?
They're like someone's sitting there at the border like
wrong exit.
Suckers.
Oh no, I got all my oh no. So yeah, today we've got a great show. We got a great show for you. Oh, I didn't ask you, how are you doing, buddy?
Oh, thank you very much. It's very considerate of you. I'm doing good, man. Miami, we're heading towards storm season. It's a little like nerve-wracking because they say, you know, environmental factors that like there's going to be 30% more hurricanes this year. So I've been trying to figure out how to hurricane-proof the house, and you know, it's kind of scary, especially like, oh, what if something happens during pandemic, and like, where do you go? What do you do? So that's a little unnerving, but fingers crossed, man.
Praying for you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So yeah, today's show, it's a celebration. It's a celebration because we have our new singles coming out on Friday. It's called Just Succumb, and it features Lori Lava, aka Sha-lor, on vocals.
That's right.
Sha-lor, you've probably heard of before from their song "I'm in Love," which came out in the late '80s, and more recently we resurfaced as like a Panorama Bar Deep House classic.
Yep.
When it was reissued on Rush Hour Records.
That's right. And it was produced by none other than Cozmo D of Nucleus fame and so many other aliases.
Dream to Science. Yeah, so he's worn so many hats in this music
We've got
game.
Cozmo backstage. I got that sample queued up just for him.
Yeah, we also got Lori. So we're gonna get to interviewing them in a little bit. But first and foremost, we got our Bandcamp song of the week.
Oh wait, can we do our theme song, please?
Oh yeah, wait.
Welcome to Schmoozing with Soul Clap.
Schmoozing, schmoozing.
This is something special for you.
Schmoozing, schmoozing.
Soul Clap.
Lonely Sea, Bamboozle.
Schmoozing.
Cocorico. Talk amongst yourselves.
Schmoozing.
Soul Clap.
Are you ready? The show's about to start.
That was hot.
Yeah.
And
we got a logo. We got a logo.
Yeah, we got our new logo. So be
holler
prepared.
at us holler at us for any merch suggestions. We're gonna do coffee cups.
Merchandising.
Yeah, we're gonna do coffee cups. We're gonna do what else? What's a classic deli merchandise?
Schmoozing the toilet paper.
Toilet paper.
Schmoozing the flamethrower. Yeah, coffee cups is great. Anything with that real like NPR appeal.
Coffee cups. Schmoozing.
Schmoozing.
Oh, it sounds a little hot on the effects.
That's hot.
A little hot.
Let me hit this.
Yeah. Wiki. So yeah, we got Bandcamp Song of the Week, which we also need a theme song for Bandcamp Song of the Week, or a sound effect, right?
It is the Bandcamp Song of the Week. Here we go.
So this week we have COEO with Habibi Dub House of Disco Records. I don't know a lot about this.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Oh, sorry.
COEO has records on some other labels that I love, and House of Disco I've been noticing since Arup Roy dropped Talking About Life a couple years ago. That's a hot jam.
That's a jam.
Shout out to Arup. So yeah, House of Disco. I started following on Bandcamp around that time, and almost every record they put out is great. They had a Fook record a little while ago on Art of Tones, Cody Curie. So good underground disco sample infused house music. This one is dope. Habibi Dub. Let's check it out.
Let it rip.
Schmoozing.
I love this one because, it's kind of like bringing it back to that 80s almost freestyle vibe, but in a deep kind of way.
Totally appropriate for today's show, Eli. Let's see that graphic.
Yeah, zoom in on that. Yeah, the artwork on this label on House of Disco is always on point, kind of collagey vibes. But I love it.
You got some tug of war vibes going there. Parties right now would be getting rinsed, as they say. Oh, shout out to Ali Duncan because it's Bandcamp Fire.
Workomaniac.
Schmoozing.
Johnny Macaroni. Mike Hill. Oh, we got Twitch. We got Twitch emoji. So, all of those.
Oh, yeah.
Clap. Maniac, corned beef or pastrami? I gotta go with corned beef.
I gotta go with pastrami. I'm a pastrami guy. I was a former pastrami guy. Now in recovery.
Well, that's the yin yang of full clap. Pastrami and corned beef.
That's right.
We can't even agree, but it still works.
Ooh.
And Bandini going with
the pastrami side.
Right? Oh man, I would love a sandwich right now.
I think the question is, may I have a sandwich? You guys are going for it with the orchestra hit.
Yeah, full on 80s orchestra hit. Shout out your favorite delis in the chat. Your favorite deli. It may not be the absolute best, but Frankel's Greenpoint is I go to because I have my radio show on the Tuesdays at the lot, and it's like a walk. So I always end up at Frankel's afterwards.
And we love the Frankel's familia.
Shout out to Frankel's.
When are we going to get our photo on the wall, Frankel's?
Frankel's, you sent a delivery to Miami and upstate New York?
Yeah.
All right, I think we can fade this one out, right? It's like
that's hot. That's on the dance floor. That's a dance floor one.
that is sick.
Yep. do a fade out.
Perfect time for a fade. Oh,
Perfect.
I guess you can only just stop it and crank it, but that's fine.
That's good.
That's
Yes.
it. That's it.
That was it.
That's like, here's a funny story about that kind of music. We stumbled on freestyle via Sleeping Bag Records, buying old Sleeping Bag Records stuff back in like 2002, probably.
Yeah, we were some young bucks.
Yeah, and shopping at Vinyl Connection in Boston. Shout out Carol Mitro.
Shout out Carol and
and
Tom.
And we started buying these Sleeping Bag Records, and they had these great dubs. It was like those kind of beats, like the record we just heard. And we were like, oh, what kind of music is this? This is dope. It's like, let's call it tronic.
Yeah, we're like, that's tronic.
We didn't even know what it was. I mean,
Ignorance.
yeah, now we know very well. It's freestyle music, right?
Yep.
Freestyle, and then there's like the meeting point with kind of freestyle and R&B, where it's like electro funk, and I think that's the bridge right here, where we can bring in our first guest of the
Man.
day, Cozmo D.
What up, y'all?
Yeah, boy. Welcome, Cosmo. So good to have you here.
Thanks for having me, man.
So
Where,
maybe you could. Why don't we can just pick up where we left off? I mean, that's ridiculous. We're just some ignorant fools from Boston at the time. Tronic. I mean, would you consider that song freestyle? I mean, I don't know, freestyle. What do you think?
What, the one you just played?
The one we just played.
That's house to me.
Yeah, I think so too. I gotta
it's
take
got
a
freestyle elements, but it's basically a house track. It's an 80s style house track, but
That's for sure. But that was what was cool about Sleeping Bag, is like you kind of like it definitely went back and forth between house and freestyle.
Sleeping
hip
Bag
hop,
was a good
Mantronics.
label back in the day, man. They were a good label.
Say what?
I said Sleeping Bag was a good label back in the day.
I got this funny. Obviously, I'm in North Miami, and there's this one guy since the Corona hit, because everybody's out exercising because the weather's nice, and he comes riding around the neighborhood on his bike, and he's got his jam box, and he's just bumping classics, Stevie B, and all these, just incredible, cheesy, hilarious jams. But he'll come right around the house around 6:30 p.m. always on his bike sweating. That's pretty. It's great. So Miami or so Brooklyn, because I remember there would always be like this one dude in that car, the Slingshot with the 3 wheels.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He would come down Bedford, and he was always
Somebody with a
like
slingshot
classic.
in Bed-Stuy, huh?
Yeah.
That ain't my Brooklyn.
Shit.
So where are you right now, Cosmo?
I'm in Easton, Pennsylvania.
You live out in Pennsylvania now.
Yeah, home of Larry Holmes.
Oh snap! How long you been out there?
Since 2008.
Okay, nice.
Very mellow out there right now.
You people priced me out of Brooklyn, man. I couldn't afford it.
Oh shit!
Priced ourselves right out of Brooklyn. I had to move upstate.
Trying to look for it.
Yeah, that's what you get. That's what you
No
get.
way.
Shoot.
Yep.
Oh man. Yeah. I mean, how's the vibe in Pennsylvania right now? Is it
Well, I don't know, because I'm
nobody?
staying in my fucking house, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm staying in there. I go out once a week for supplies, and then right back in the house, man.
Yeah.
But people are maintaining. They're not losing their minds out here yet.
Thank goodness.
Mhm.
Having some
goodness.
space outside makes a big difference. I couldn't even imagine being in New York City right now. That would
Yeah, I have a nice backyard and a nice little porch that's away from the sidewalk. So I'll go out on the porch, take my Bluetooth speaker,
Nice.
take a bottle of scotch and a cigar, and play some jazz, man, and just chill right there,
Can
right
you
there in
please
front of the house.
take a video and send that in, because
Yeah.
that sounds like
I'll
I'd love
do
to
that.
see you chilling.
forget all about quarantine.
That's right. That's right. The people walk by, just stay the fuck away. That's all.
Well,
6 feet, motherfucker.
I think let's get into like kind of how we all met, and I think we met through Sadi. We met in Brooklyn? I remember meeting you at a party. I remember I was a little twisted, and I remember you gave me a great nickname. You started calling me Charlie Jesus.
Yeah,
And
you
it's
were always twisted back then, man.
Well, I've reformed. I'm a reformed man now.
Oh, Congratulations, my G.
But,
God bless Sadi, man. Rest in peace.
Maybe talk about like how did you guys link up?
I really don't remember. I think he found me on Facebook. You know, he looked me up and he found me, and then we met up. I think the first time we met was down in Miami for WMC.
Okay.
Nice.
Years and years ago, when that thing was still really happening, you know.
Yep.
You know, quiet as it's kept. I might have met you all the same time.
That would make sense because he was really networking.
Yeah.
And kind of pulling out stops from the old school, which was really great. But I'm very grateful that that he helped us link up with you, and through that connection, we were able to bring you into the fold with our House of E-Funk party, and we had Nucleus perform live in Detroit.
Yes.
And also you guys joined us on the cruise Holy Ship.
Oh yeah,
that was a lot of fun. That was a big rave on a boat that left from Florida and went to Nassau and back.
Yeah, that was the joy.
But for people tuning in,
you mentioned House of E-Funk, and we were speaking about Detroit earlier in the show, and I totally forgot to mention that we're doing a House of E-Funk live stream on Saturday night as an after party for the movement live stream. Yeah, so this Saturday, it's going to be House of E-Funk, doing the best we can to keep it alive by keeping it live stream. Right. And so that was great having Nucleus perform at that party. I mean, that's like, and we also, we had last year, we had Sha-lor, we had Lori perform. So that's like,
no kidding.
Yeah. So we always do our best to make sure we're representing the OGs at that party and bringing that flavor to Detroit
and just having some live performance.
Yep.
That was a good time, man.
For sure. Well, I mean, let's maybe get into some of the music. I mean, for those that don't know about Cozmo's history and the band Nucleus, I would say maybe your most famous song, Jam On It, has become an absolute anthem for the breakdancing community, electro, house. It's kind of bounced around from many genres.
It's been remixed like thousands of times, probably, right, Cozmo?
Many thousands.
Maybe should we let's check out the music video, the original music video from back then, and then we can get into talking about what it was like to make such of a classic.
Schmoozing.
Jam on it. Yeah, we know. You gonna rock it, right? You gonna do it now, right? Yeah. What's the name of it? Jam on it. Three words of the wax, still wax. Get it down and then giving no slack like a Burger King with a sack of Big Macs. With throwing it down and with the rockables ass on time. In your mind, see, you gotta book it to your best ability. You gotta funk it up until it knocks you down. And when you're bumping up, make sure you pass it around. Come on, let's go to work. We got what'll make your body jerk. Make you throw your hands up in the air, shake your booty and scream, oh yeah. Cause we are the Jam On crew, and jamming on it is how we do the do. We'll funk you up until you book it down. So come on, people, check out the sound.
Allow me to introduce myself. Well, my name is J.B. And I'm a surefire, full-blooded, bonafide, house talking jam on production MC. If you want the best, then put me to the test, and I'm sure you'll soon agree that I got no flaws, cause I'm down by law when it comes to rocking viciously. You see, cause of when I was a little baby boy, my mama gave me a brand new toy. 2 turntables with a mic, and I learned to rock like a Dolomite. Time went by on this God creation. I knew someday I would rock the nation, so I made up my mind just what to do, and I joined with the Jam on production crew. So
my ass, I just use my super brand. I can fly 3 times around the world without missing a beat. I socialize with X-ray eyes and ladies, this is sweet. And then he turned his power and around began to move. And all the buildings for miles around were swaying to the groove. And just when he had pulled the crowd and sworn he won the fight, we rocked this bit with a 12-inch cut called Disco Kryptonite. Jam on it, jam on it.
My first question, Cosmo,
Yeah.
is where did you record that video?
At Manhattan Borough Community College.
Yeah. My question is that the same hat you're wearing in the video?
No,
on your head?
Hat, not the same one. No, that hat I wore in that video got crushed on stage. I did a backflip and landed right on it.
You did a backflip and landed on your head?
Yep, and landed on my hat. The hat fell off my head when I did the backflip, and I landed right on it. Crushed it.
So you were doing backflips during live shows?
Yeah, well, something like that.
Wow.
I ain't gonna say they were the prettiest of things, but I did them.
I also love the 80s graphic for the super breath.
Yeah,
that's hot.
No, they didn't. They pulled out all the stops. I remember being so disappointed seeing this video because we wanted them to do it on film, and they did it on video, and we were so disappointed. But everybody loved it, so now the video is considered a classic.
Unbelievable.
We wanted some MTV hotness, but I guess that's what they could afford.
I mean, this is pretty hot. So was it aired on MTV?
No. BET played it, but MTV wouldn't play it.
Interesting.
Too underground.
Back then, they if you weren't on film, they said they wouldn't play it.
Really?
I don't know how true that is.
Do you think that maybe there was some like racial stuff going on?
Always.
Yeah.
Always. We live in America, man. Always.
Yep.
Yeah, MTV didn't play any hip hop until later in the 80s, right? What was the first?
Well, they had like LL, right? Or
well, they played some Run DMC.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe it was Run DMC and Aerosmith. I think it was Run DMC and Aerosmith. They finally got hip hop on there because they had Aerosmith in the video.
I think they played Rockbox before that. If I remember.
Rockbox before that,
I believe so. But
took a while.
Yeah, to crack MTV was not easy.
Yeah,
probably. And now they're not even playing videos at all. Go figure. It's all just story influencer co-eds on islands pumping each other.
Passed by. They've been passed by.
Shit, man.
We missed that. I mean, that was actually part of our. We want to have Beavis and Butthead moments on this show.
Oh
we're watching the videos and talking trash.
Yeah, that
Golden
used,
era MTV.
that used to be the move in Beavis and Butthead.
So yeah, I mean this like wiki track, Jam on It. How did it come about? Charlie actually was telling me a story, but I want to hear about it from you. Like,
well, I believe Wiki was Jam on Revenge.
Yeah, Wiki was Jam on Revenge. That came out first.
Right.
And that was out and it became a hit. See, we originally weren't trying to do that. I made Wiki as a joke, you know, for a guy in my crew that wanted us to make a rap record. And, you know, we from the streets of Brooklyn, man, you know, and we used to rock the parks in the 70s. So the hip hop we were used to was harder than the crap that was coming on the radio. So I thought that a lot of the hip hop that was on the radio, we're talking like 1981, 1982, I thought it was weak, you know. So he asked me to make a rap record. So I made an anti-rap record. You know, a rap record making fun of rap records, and that's what Wiki was. You know,
and that was like because they were using all the like kind of disco, recreating all the disco loops.
No, I didn't care about that. It was the style that I didn't like.
Yeah,
you know, everybody with the routines and all that. You know, the showmanship shit. You know, whereas you know we're from Brooklyn, man. Hip hop, you know, rapping on the mics. You know, when you rocking the park, you rocking the crowd. That was some Fadolo go off shit. You know, that's what that was about. You know, not these routines and take the train, and all that. that shit was whack to us, man. So, you know, I made fun of it, you know, made fun of the Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Jive, the Sugar Hill Gang, you know.
You heard it here first, guys. This is the real Brooklyn Underground.
So Wiki comes out, you know, and it blows up. And the record company says, because we were going to come next with Computer Age, Push the Button. Because that was the record I wanted to put out in the first.
Man, that is a hard ass electro record that I've like a couple years ago, I found the record and I don't think I'd ever heard it before. And it was just in my DJ sets for like 2 years. Just like such an amazing record.
Yeah, that's the record I was shopping, but they heard Wiki and they lost their mind. So we were ready to do Computer Age next, and the record company says, "No, we want y'all to do a rap record." And now, mind you, I'm a DJ. I used to rap on the mic, but I was a DJ. Chili B was a DJ, you know. But they wanted a rap record. I said, "All right, fuck it." So I got in the lab. One of the funkiest bass lines out there is Situation by Yazoo.
Yep.
I love that bass line. So I got into what made it so funky, and it was their use of space. And I flipped it, and that's when the Jam on It bass line came out. You know, using the essence of that situation. And then did a dope beat, took about 45 minutes, knew the beat was dope. Brought out my old rhyme book and all the rhymes I used to say in the parks in the 70s, threw that on there. Chili B was supposed to write his rhymes, but he never got around to it. He said he couldn't come up with anything. So I wrote new rhymes for Chili B. So that's why Chili B's verse sounds so much different than the rest of the verse, because the most of the rest of the song, because most of Jam on It is serious old school. You're not talking 80s, you're talking 70s. And Chili B was something that I wrote in 1984. And dropped it. Rest is history, man.
It really is, man. And incredible that we're still celebrating this record that sounds like it could have come out this year. I mean, especially we're doing the Bandcamp song of the week, and it's throwback to the 80s. I mean, not that this is the same genre, but you know, this is one of these classics that's so innovative that still so many years later, it's, you know, unbeatable.
It's a blessing, man. It's a blessing. It's carried me for all these years.
Incredible. And we saw in the video, I'm sure this is like prop instruments. because we see Chili playing the bass, and it's clearly like a synthesizer bass.
Yeah,
but with that, do you remember which synth you used? Or was that the SH?
Circuits Pro 1 played the bass line.
It was a Pro 1.
Pro
Yeah,
1.
those are my real instruments on the stage.
Okay.
They were popped up, but we bought them right straight from the studio.
Wicked. Well,
so
shout out.
The sequential circuit.
Shout out to Dave Smith in San Francisco with Sequential. Thank you for making that synth so Cozmo can make such a tune.
Yes, sir.
So I mean, for me, it's like seeing like Nucleus. Obviously, I knew Jam on it from when I was little, but like then Dream to Science. I find out about Dream to Science, much more recently, and I'm so curious how you kind of took that path from making this electro hip hop sound and ended up in deep house, like the deepest of house music. How did that happen?
Hold tight.
Well, we found out we were getting ripped off. And I realized that to do this business, especially since I was on the creative end, you had to think bigger than being an artist. You had to start thinking first producer and then record label. So I started going that way. And I'm a DJ, and as a DJ, my original DJ name is Cozmo Disco, which shows you how much I love disco.
Mm-hmm.
So I love disco. So when house came along, to me, it was just the continuation of disco, only it's raw. It's much more raw, much more street, much more electric, much more electro, in other words, right up my alley. So I went in, I think I did my first house record in 1986, and went into it from there. So
and you started your own label to put out your house music?
I started my own label to put out music, period.
Just put everything out. What was that label called, the initial label?
The first label was Bainbridge Street Records. It was named after the street we grew up on in Bed-Stuy, Bainbridge Street.
Bainbridge Street.
So, and the first stuff that we put out was hip hop. Cut King. Why's It Gotta Happen to Me? And the B side, which blew up bigger than the A side, It's All About You. And we were putting out hip hop on that label. It was through Warlock Records.
Okay.
And then we started delving into house. We had a pretty big. We sold 10,000 copies, which for a small label,
that's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Especially by today's terms, that's a killing.
Yeah.
By today's terms, you're lucky to sell 300.
Don't Want Some House Music was the name of it, and went from there.
And which alias was this music on? This was Nucleus stuff. This was Cozmo Disco stuff, or any number of.
It could.
Because I'm holding a couple records here. That most of which I got.
It's always different, right?
At Rush Hour, I believe. Oh, got the Cosmic House EP.
Yeah,
that's a great one. That's under your government name, right?
Well, I guess you could say my government name is Maurice Senac. So, even Ben is like another. So even your real name on Discogs is an alias. Ben is my middle name, but nobody calls me Maurice. Only the IRS calls me Maurice. Only the government.
If the government, if you had in your birth certificate Cozmo Disco, then your parents had to be hippies, And then I also got this one over here, which is another alias
that's a great
called
one.
Push Pull.
Yep.
Which is some real cool stuff. And you even got
look at the records, Bang the Drums.
Bang the Drums.
Bang the Drums.
Rebel 3. Rebel 3 is me.
Oh, okay.
But that was my tag. That was one of my tags that I used to write in the 70s.
Oh, we need to see if you got some nice graph photos. That would be great. I'm sure people would love to see.
He has all the books. When you guys hook up, you have them show you the books.
Yeah.
There it is.
Al's got everything. I noticed, yeah, Al T. I mean, of course, shout out to Lady E and Al T, the other two members of the current configuration of Nucleus. And Al T is over here in Pembroke Pines, which is just a little bit south of Fort Lauderdale, but north of Miami. So shout out to Al. We're gonna link up. Let's see some art. Let's see some art when I get up there.
Yep.
I think that's a cool segue though into maybe the next song, Eli.
All right, cool.
Dream to Science.
Yeah, which is Dream to Science. And the song is called My Love Turns to Liquid. And is that Lady E on vocals on that one?
Lady E on vocals. That song was written for her. She's always had a unique voice to me. And even though she was, she sang in Nucleus, her and Neek sang background, I never exploited her voice. And so this song, I said, finally, I'm going to exploit her voice. And I wrote this song strictly for her voice in the perfect key for her. And I think it worked out perfectly.
Absolute jam.
That water droplet sound, man.
Yeah, that's like the real R&B drop.
Yep.
Man, this song just makes me want to be in a club. So bad, though.
Makes me want to be in a hot tub.
We got a question from Paul Thornton. What synth did you use for this bass line?
Hey, Paul Thornton, believe it or not, EX7.
EX7, nice.
I think that might explain the difference between the nucleus sound and the dream to science. You went FM synthesis on these tunes?
Oh, actually, on the second album, the second nucleus album, that's almost all DX7 bass line too.
All DX.
I just know how to program the DX7.
That's also, I mean,
that's know how to program that thing.
Well, because if you don't know DX7, you know, all you see when you look at it is like the screen. You got to really go in, and it's a real pain in the ass.
You gotta figure out how those algorithms work. But once you get them figured out, man, that's an amazing machine.
These days, you know, all the emulators that do that stuff with software, you can go in and tweak it. But man, hats off.
Thank you.
And I gotta know also, because you know, I love that R&B drop, and sometimes I put it in some stuff, some records, and I've always sampled it. I've always ripped it from someone else. What is it? What's the origin of that? That droplet sound.
It's on the R8M.
There it is, man.
Preset in the R8M. The minute I heard that, I said, "Oh, I gotta use this thing."
Oh man, I gotta go check out on Reverb, see if there's something for sale. But I have no money because of quarantine, so that's why I'm doing this show. Jeez.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
No cents will be bought
No
this year.
Man, come on, Santa Claus. Nah, fuck that. I'm Jewish. He's not coming for me anyway.
I heard Santa's expanding this year.
Santa's expanding?
Yeah, man.
Woo!
We all need some Christmas cheer, right?
Yeah, there it is. Go to the website and sign up.
Oh, that's what.
I heard though that website actually is the Chinese government trying to get your information.
Look, if signing up for Santa Claus is anything like signing up for unemployment in the state of Florida, I'm in trouble.
Did you do the self-employed thing and
I tried
to sign up?
Yeah, I tried, but you know, it turned out that the website here in Florida is first of all, it's privately owned, which is interesting that unemployment in the state of Florida is a private business.
That's weird.
That is weird. And second of all, the website was so glitchy that they reverted in Florida to paper application.
Wow.
So
paper, what's that? Wow.
Oh man.
Reminder though, speaking of paper, there's a lot of states with primaries coming up and then the elections, and we're really pushing for paper ballots. I mean, sorry, absentee ballots for all elections, and you have to, you know, send them in by mail. But it seems like the only way we're going to be able to get everybody to be able to vote, you know, older folks are not going to be able to go to the polls if this
That's right.
I mean, if it's dangerous to go out in public places, nobody's going to be able to go to the polls.
Right.
We all got to do the mail-in ballot. And I don't know, I woke up and I like to, you know, I know it's kind of sets my mood sometimes for the day, but I like to look at the news first thing when I wake up on my phone. I saw something about in Michigan that Trump wants to cut federal funding to Michigan because they want to do the mail-in ballots.
Well, yeah, they're messing with the governor there. You know, she's a Democrat.
Yeah,
woman.
She's
Muslim, and so it's like everybody's messing with her. You know, so the Republicans are just messing with her. She's really getting it hard from all of them.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
What a mess.
Yeah. But back to the music. That one actually was re-released on Rush Hour music, which is how I got my hands on it first. And also the Sha-lor I'm in Love was reissued on Rush Hour. How did you connect with Rush Hour to re-release his music?
Christian, originally from Rush Hour, he's no longer there. He originally contacted me about the Dream to Science, and I've developed a great relationship with them. You know, they pay on time, which is a novel thing in the record business. That's always an important thing. When you find somebody that pays on time, you stick with them. You know, so yeah, we've developed a pretty good relationship. We released Push Pull, Bang the Drums over there.
Oh yeah, got that one from them too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I noticed
shout out to Rush Hour Records in Amsterdam, Antal and the whole crew over there. One of the best record shops around.
Shout out Antal.
I noticed on the push pull release that one of the tracks is called Zanzibar.
Yeah.
And that's I'm sure in reference to the legendary club in New Jersey, Zanzibar.
No, it's to the country.
Okay.
I was just thinking of names of places in Africa.
All right. Well, I thought that would be like a clever segue because
it would work. Yeah, because I love Zanzibar. Zanzibar was one hell of a club, but okay.
I was thinking that would be.
I won't fuck your segue up. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, you can fuck my segue up, man. It wasn't that good to begin with. None of my material's that good, Cosmo. Seriously.
We're just schmoozing. We're just schmoozing here, you know. We're just
schmoozing.
Yeah. So no, but the segue was that as the legend goes for Sha-lor, that well, maybe should we bring in Lori and then we can tell this story?
Yeah, let's talk about Sha-lor.
Let's bring her in. Let's bring in all the way from Brooklyn, New York, Miss Lori Lava.
There she goes.
Hey. Lori, you got the crispest picture of any of us. Your screen is
that's the iPhone, baby.
So welcome to Schmoozing with Soul Clap. And
thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. The Sha-lor record was another piece of music produced by Cozmo. And Cosmo, what year was it? Do you remember?
88.
So it's 1988
or 89, one of them.
1988, and what's going on? You're at this point, you're a producing machine. Nucleus is like super hot. It's blown the heck up. You're messing with house music. You're like kind of moving on because you're a DJ. You got a lot of eclectic sensibility. And what happens? How did
Nucleus by that point is dead.
Nucleus is done.
They weren't paying us, so we said, well, you ain't getting no more Nucleus out of us. These girls, they started off, I think in about 1985, I started working with a group of girls.
Okay.
I don't even remember their names, but they kept changing. One would get pregnant, one would leave, and they kept switching and switching. I'd say around about 1986 or 87, they brought in this girl named Charmel. Charmel could actually write songs. The first one of these girls that kept coming and going, it actually had some talent.
Okay.
And she could sing a little bit.
And who's they? When you say they bring them in, who's they? It's a record company.
These are the girls.
Girls are showing. They're showing up on your studio store door. They're knocking on the door.
It all started with one girl that knew my mother. And my mother brought her down there and said, "Well, you could produce these girls." And she's bringing her friends in, and they're going back and forth. I must have went through about 12 girls. They kept changing, and then here was Charmel. And Charmel could write. She could sing a little bit.
Okay.
But I said, okay, here's something to work with. The two girls that she was with, who had brought her in, one left and the other got pregnant.
Oh, man.
Just Charmel. Charmel said, well, I got a cousin that can really sing. I said, well, bring her down. Charmel goes and she brings Lori. Lori can sing her ass off.
Yes, she sure can.
And I said, wait a minute. Suddenly, I've got something here. After all these years of messing with all these little girls.
And Lori, at that time, you're 15, 16 years old.
I was actually 14.
14 years old.
14? Okay, so you guys came in even earlier than I thought then. Because when we dropped whatchamacallit, you were 18. When we dropped I'm in Love.
Okay.
Yeah, we did a song. I'm gonna put the song up online sooner or later.
Yes,
we did a
please.
song called Hot Lover.
Yeah, around that age. I was pretty young.
And
wow.
They were too young, man. And actually, we got a listening up in Columbia.
I always wanted to sing. I mean, it was always my thing to sing.
Yeah, I'm taking it. You talk to.
It was just. I mean,
that's how it came
about.
about.
Knew I sing as well, and it was. I was down for anything. I just wanted to be a part of something great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
that-
you were where were you first singing as a child, Lori? Where is that something that was in the
Oh.
family, or you just
Oh.
loved? Was there a particular music that drew you in? Did you know about house music?
Yes. Well, I learned house music when I came to New York City because I was I was raised in the Caribbean islands.
Okay,
I was
where in the
singing
Caribbean are you
kids.
from?
Yeah, well, I was born U.S. Virgin Islands, so
Okay.
I was born U.S. Virgin Islands, but I was raised in St. Kitts for a little while with
Okay.
my grandmother.
Oh
And
man,
they
so
brought me up
beautiful.
here. Yeah, so this is where that Caribbean background came, and I stayed pretty close. And also, Shamel, she's Jamaican, so I pretty much stayed in the crowd
Yeah.
with family. And I always wanted to sing. I love music. The music I came upon really was reggae, to tell you the truth.
For sure.
I got introduced to house music throughout with Ben because of my vocals were so strong for so young. And it was like, hey, you sound good singing this. And I just went for it. Met Ben, it was very exciting. And I didn't even realize who Benjamin was at that moment. As in Nucleus, I didn't realize who he was. So when I found that out, that even made it more exciting for us. But
So you were already
great.
recording. You were already recording by the time you found out that was his background.
Well, I wasn't doing professional recordings. I would do like dub plates for certain sound system.
Yeah.
Yeah. And shows. I did a lot of shows. I always was in a show.
As a teenager, as a young teenager.
Oh yeah, that was my life. Absolutely.
Yeah.
For the younger viewers, maybe can you guys explain what a dub plate is and how that works? And maybe in the Caribbean, in the Jamaican dance hall sense, but also in like the exclusive sense. I think that's really a lost art form now that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, to tell you the truth, these things, it's not actually lost. It's been there due to the fact they're starting to make, the records back. Actually, that record type of vibe is coming back again. Thank God. But dub plate is when you make a sound, like you make a song and then you put the sound system name in the song and then you big up the song. It's like they use it towards competition.
The special version, the special exclusive version.
Yeah. You do specials. They even call it that. They call it specials. Yeah.
And quite literally, when you have a piece of music or a special version of a piece of music, and you can't go through the process of going and getting the thing cut as a real piece of vinyl, there's something called acetate. And the acetate is like a cheaper, quicker turnaround version, but you can only play it.
It's like 30.
It's more expensive.
Yeah. No, well, it's a press. You're just making one, right?
Okay.
You have this acetate material. You have the song, and you literally just cut into this material. Like there's a special needle that literally cuts into the acetate.
Yep.
And that's a dub plate. And it's like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much they would cost now, but even like 20 years ago when I was cutting dub plates, it was like $30 to cut a dub.
But back in the 80s, there wasn't cassettes and CDs and digital. This is all futuristic shit. So, the only way to play a song is to have the record in your hand, and the acetate lasts like 20, 30 plays. That's it. And then the thing disintegrates, or as I found out, the fool that I can be, I remember Eli got one of our first ever Soul Clap songs cut on acetate in London. Yep. And at the time we had our record collection there, and we were a mobile DJ company in Boston, and we had some interns, and I was showing the interns how to clean the records. That was one of their tasks. Come over here and spray all the records, because we got to go out and play them on the weekend. And this is, we weren't digital. This is even before there were popular. We didn't really mess with CD players back then. And I came along. I'm like, this is our record. We got to keep it nice and clean, because this is our original tune. And if that, you put the record cleaning fluid on acetate, wipe the grooves right off.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I found out the hard way.
Oh man.
Yeah. So, anyway, back to the regular program here.
Yo, I was gonna say, so Sha-lor, so you guys recorded "I'm in Love." Was that the first Sha-lor record, the first release?
Yes, it was.
And
it was actually my first professional release. Yeah.
Amazing. And so then it ends up being a club hit in New York, right?
Yeah, that was my segue, which is like Zanzibar to Zanzibar.
Right.
So here we are back in the 80s, and we got 14 to 18-year-old Lori Lava, and Cozmo is like, what you said, like, oh, we're gonna do this thing live at Zanzibar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember how that came about. I think that was our boy LT again.
Okay. Shout out to LT in Pembroke Pines.
And he's doing something with the Warlock stuff.
Okay.
He got us on the show for Zanzibar. But it didn't really blow up in New York. It blew up in the UK.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So Zanzibar was a live performance, but the record actually blew up in the UK
now.
In the UK, yep.
Because I remember this hazy memory, Lori, of us performing the song in New York, and somebody, Warren, our homie Warren, shout out to Warren.
Yeah.
Was at the Zanzibar, or claimed to be at the Zanzibar performance.
No kidding.
In 1987, and then was there elsewhere in Bushwick when we did the live performance of some of our material.
Yeah, Warren's
Brooklyn, New York. New York's a mother, and I miss her. I do.
I remember correctly, Marshall Jefferson tried to pick Lori up.
And then Marshall tried to pick her up?
It was either Lori or Charmel. Tried to pick one of them up.
Oh, this is great, man.
You know how old them girls are?
Schmoozing.
So Lori, I bet you couldn't imagine as a 14-year-old, whatever, 15, 16, when the record's done, like everybody's playing the record in the UK.
No, the night actually I performed at Zanzibar, I turned 16 that night.
Wow.
That day. Yeah, it was my birthday. I turned 16. So we were still on the age at that moment. Yeah.
Wow.
But it was cool. It was a nice experience. I got to meet a lot of big known artists that's pretty much known now.
Do you remember who
their showcase?
Do you remember who was on the showcase or who you crossed paths with? We love this history.
If I'm sure, I don't know if is it Cece Peniston? Is that her name? Yeah, I think she was performing. If I'm sure it was her, yeah, and a few other heads. Remember, I'm new to the game. It was frightening at that moment, but it was also fun. And Ben and the crew was all there. They had our backs. We were okay.
Wow.
Was it with a band that you guys did the show?
Nah.
No.
You were just DJing?
It wasn't with the
track. No band. There's no way to put a band on the stage.
Right.
Just delayed like a
Well, maybe let's play the song.
Yeah, let's check it out.
Yeah.
And you guys feel free to, give us a little bit of narration. I know the vocal takes a little while to kick in.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to point out, Cozmo, this bass line sounds strikingly familiar to the Jam On It bass line.
Like I said, I learned how to use space. You'll find in most of my bass lines.
Got the filter on that hi-hat. Sounds like the super breath. Shout out to the Percomaniacs.
There ain't no filter on that hi-hat, man. I didn't know any filter.
confused, baby.
It had a little delay on
You've
mine.
got my head in a spin. I try to fight it, but you keep holding me tighter. Come on, baby. 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 Oh, come on, baby. Oh,
I don't know if I ever heard that mix before.
Oh, this one your original mix?
No.
But somebody's resampling the hell out of that thing.
Yeah, they taking different, they're editing different mixes that I did. Chopping it up.
Oh, snap. That was pretty dope, though.
Somebody would have raised the blade.
Oh, let's talk about that when the music's over. That's a whole novel thing that probably a lot of listeners don't know about.
I'm not hearing.
So yeah, I'm really
Yeah, let's do a fade out.
fade it. Shout
Charlie,
out to our
Yeah.
producers, Johnny and Zach.
We can hear you, Lori. Can you hear us?
I lost audio with you guys.
You lost audio?
I'm gonna leave and come back in the chat.
Okay.
Is that
Okay,
cool?
cool.
All right, cool.
Yo, we can hear that Brooklyn ice cream truck.
Yep. Mr. Soft.
I missed that shit. Wait, so Cosmo, you're talking about razor cut edits, and I mean that's another thing that's I think just wild for younger people to wrap their heads around. So back in the day, if you wanted to change the recording, if you wanted to re-edit, if you wanted to, adjust
Change
the thing,
arrangement.
change the arrangement, you can't go in and just press delete and drag the shit. Nope. And it's not even a sequence. You can't do it no, you have to physically cut the recording,
The tape,
and paste it back together. That's crazy. I mean, it's not crazy. It is what it is. That is just unbelievable that was how it was done. Do you think anyone's still doing that today just for like this?
Some people. There's
You think?
some stubborn ones holding on.
I think it was just Kerry Chandler just did a big thing with RA thing about reel to reel and tape editing and tape special tape mixes, and he was showing his process of doing that on there. So
Kerry does his stuff reel to reel.
He doesn't do everything, but it's something he's maintained. He's something he's
old shelter
maintained
stuff.
in his repertoire. So yeah,
That's all right.
Respect.
yeah.
That is
See you to them days.
Are you happy to let go of that,
Yeah,
that old stuff?
I'm
Oh,
happy
welcome back, Lori.
Thank you.
Sorry, say again, Cosmo.
I'm happy not to mess with tape, period. I've always hated tape. Always
Sounds
hated
good though.
Yeah, it sounds good, but it's like your life's work on this flimsy piece of medium that could pop at any fucking minute. I've never liked it.
And have you lost a great recording because of this?
Right now, I'm looking for. I mean, it's the same medium, though it was digital. I had this track that I did on the old QX1 sequencer, which used the 5 1/4 inch floppy disks.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, and the floppy disk messed up on me years ago, and I only had it on a cassette somewhere. And I am tearing apart my house trying to find the cassette because I want to redo this song, and I can't.
So what did you just have to back it up?
What?
Back them up, right?
You couldn't back up back then.
You can back up a floppy. You can't copy it to another. Can you save it again? That's it. It's either on the disc or it's not. It's nowhere.
So it's on the disc or it's nowhere. We're talking about that was my first It was my second sequencer. The first sequencer was you backed up the cassette deck.
Holy shit, man.
Yeah.
This is great. This is great. We're schmoozing.
Schmoozing.
So yeah, back to Sha-lor, Lori. So you put out this "I'm in Love" record with Cozmo, and then we don't hear from you for a long time, right? Where were you at?
I don't think she hears you.
Lori, can you hear us?
I hear you guys, but it's Ben is the only one that I'm not getting.
Oh,
Okay. Well, she
Can you hear me now?
His audio went out a little bit already
We can hear you, Ben.
earlier.
Maybe it's
We can
Charlie.
hear you.
Lori can hear. Weird.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
You want it, Lori? Eli was asking you. Maybe ask her again.
Sure.
I was saying.
Oh,
so you put
I
out.
can't hear you live. That's what it is. I can't
So,
hear
okay,
you
so
live.
just Charlie.
But I
Charlie,
hear
you
you,
asked my
Charlie.
question.
She was what Eli was saying is that you did. It's 1987. You did. I'm in Love, and
Mhm.
then the world doesn't hear from you in the house music sense for a
Right.
long time. We want to know,
What
what happened after that record? Where did you go? Can you fill us in?
Well, I'll go as far as going to England, being able to travel over there and do Helter Skelter and a couple of shows over at the Fridge and just meeting a lot of heads over there that pretty much knew us. After I came back from England, I still had to get off my little high, and then reality hits. Young, had a baby early. And after that, it was just mommy
Mommy mode.
But I always stood in my music. I never left it. I've always still did, other recordings, and I also did a lot of shows still, but I still had to be that mommy at a young age. Yeah.
That's a difficult balance.
It is.
To do music and rear a child as Eli is learning, but it seems like you're doing a pretty good job. Shout out to Alma Champagne.
I've got a great partner. My wife carries a lot of the love too.
Shout out to Dre.
Yeah,
for sure. The super mama Drea.
Yep. But yeah, no, it's hard. I mean, it's hard to have a kid and like go on tour and be in the studio and have these hours, and it's a total game changer. You can't just do whatever you want anymore.
Well, I mean, I guess you can, but that wouldn't make you a great parent.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you see, like, music is important. Music will always be, the most important, but then you also have a baby you got to take care of, which is also the most important.
Somehow you balance.
So Lori, then you had mentioned when we first brought you in also your love of reggae and Caribbean music. So as you continue as an artist, you were working and doing reggae, recording reggae music, and
yes.
You want to talk about that a little bit?
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, your roots never leaves you, no matter what genre you may go in. And being in Brooklyn, New York, being raised here, it gave me the versatility of just being a part of everything. So that I think that goes a lot into my music. Reggae is a part of my family life. It's a part of, we have relatives that are pretty known in the business that did reggae, and it fulfills me. I love it. You know what I mean? And it's an awesome opportunity that you guys are even putting this out. Knowing that it's something new that you guys are touching yourselves. Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
so this is like
I'm excited. I'm excited.
Which brings us to Just to Come, which is our new record with Lori, which is like, I guess, we've always had some Caribbean influence
for sure,
like subliminally and in some of our tracks too. But this is like a real tribute to like soca and the meeting point of soca and house music. And it was like a great chance to have Lori, who's got this understanding of both, Caribbean music and house music, to come in and lay the vocals on it. And actually, originally she sang these vocals on a different track, on more of a deep house track. And we realized that the track wasn't really doing the vocals justice. So we actually did a new track for the vocals.
Yep.
Yeah.
So sorry, just to backtrack a little bit. So Cozmo and us and Soul Clapper, we're now linked up. We've done a couple shows together. We've had bringing Nucleus into House of E-Funk. We brought Nucleus to Holy Ship, and we're chatting, we're in communication, and I remember asking Cozmo, can you recommend any, you know, I've always worked with these great vocalists, is there anybody that you would recommend that we work with? And that's when you suggested that we reach out to Lori Lava, and we reached out to Lori over Facebook, but it took Lori and I were chatting on Facebook for like almost a year before we ever got around to meeting up. And I remember she was busting my balls. She's like, Charlie, what the hell's your problem? Like, and I was like, what can I say? I was like off in Charlie La La Land mostly, but we were also, touring, 100 plus shows a year easily as Soul Clap. And, it's hard to get anything done when you are traveling so much. But finally, at the time I was still living in Brooklyn, Lori's in Brooklyn. We'll say, okay, look, Lori, I owe it to you to meet together. I owe it to Cozmo to follow through on this recommendation. And we met up at Mikey Tello's studio from Pillow Talk. Shout out to Mikey. He was definitely an instrumental part of putting this project together and hosting us in his studio. And let's see, you brought your daughter Shanti with you.
Wait. We recorded just a
Did I jump?
We recorded just a comment at Morgan at Midnight Magic Studios.
Well, did we? Oh, you're right. We did record the vocals there. But I guess maybe the first time we met was at Mikey's.
Lori and Ashanti came to Elsewhere. They came to our show at Elsewhere. We met up at Elsewhere.
Came to Elsewhere after we had met. The first place, I believe, Lori, we obviously can't get the record straight here. Do you remember where you first met us?
Well, actually, I met you guys about it's 2 years now. It's about 2 years
even
now.
Longer.
Yeah.
Even longer, yeah.
And it was 7. Oh, wow. My daughter's here telling me it was 17, actually.
Yeah, 3 years.
What? And it was at the studio.
It was at the studio. Shanti gets the record straight. Wait, can we see? Does she want to smile and show her pretty face real quick?
Come show your pretty face, girl. Show your pretty face.
There you go.
Ashanti.
This is the reason Lori Lava disappeared from the house music world for so very long. But what a wonderful reason.
It is. God knows. And I'm grateful.
A wonderful reason. And she's been a very supportive force in this whole project.
All the studio sessions.
We give a big shout out. And and she is essentially like the hype woman on this track.
It was so fun.
Yep. And we did have a lot of fun recording this one.
We did.
And this one definitely. So this record is called Just a Come. Why don't you tell them? Should we listen to it first, or you want to set us up?
Bring it up a little bit about it.
Enough talking. I'm schmoozing too much.
Schmoozing.
This song here was written a very long time ago, and if you listen to the lyrics of this song, you will hear what I'm saying. You probably laugh because I'm talking about myself, and I put myself on high standard even though I was a young girl. I wrote this song when I was actually 16 years old.
Oh wow!
This is my first. This is a special. This is my first lyrics I ever wrote. Period.
Wow!
It was a chat.
Knew that. That's amazing.
Then I started writing others after. Yeah, this is history, and I'm so grateful for it. Finally, it's out. But everything works out when it's supposed to, not when. Yes.
Amen.
Yes. Yes. So I'm grateful for that.
Yeah. All right, let's pull this up. And I got to shout out my girlfriend Natasha Thompson, who did the little animations here for this video.
Tasha. Yes.
And
thank you, Tasha. Awesome.
And the wonderful artist Eli. What's his name again?
Yes.
Oh, man, I'm blanking on his name.
Oh man.
I know, right?
Adrian.
Oh yeah. Adrian Mangle.
Big up Adrian.
Big up Adrian.
Sick artwork.
And this is actually our listening party. This record is not out until Friday, and this is
I'm not done yet.
Yeah, this is exclusive.
Schmoozing.
We pump up the volume there, producer.
We're not done yet. Mad. This one is smooth. This one is smooth. Back and forth. Think some of that. It is.
Big up Lewis 2+2. Our main man said it's a big tune. Damn Skippy.
That mix is nice. Beautiful.
Pick up the
We got some Ship Jam in here.
Yes.
That's how one shouting out the Nucleus set in the rain on Holy
Right.
Shit.
Pick up the originally Shanti.
Bop, 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 bop. Love
Man,
it.
that came
love
out
it.
great.
Nice
There
track.
it is.
Hey, thank you, Cosmo. I remember.
Mad.
World premiere, world premiere, world premiere.
So you
Yeah,
guys
dude,
are spot
awesome.
on. It was exactly 2 years ago, or maybe a little bit more, because
A little
I remember
bit
the
more now.
first time that I ever played the
3 years
super
ago.
demo. Was it 3 years?
3 years.
3 years.
Yeah, because Lori performed it elsewhere with us
Yeah.
in 2018.
2018, and then it was 2019 when she joined us in Detroit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Last
I
year.
remember
Last
it
year.
like on like a end of of movement weekend. I was doing a solo thing with Lee Curtis at Exodus Rooftop in Detroit, and
Okay.
I played that, and it was super hot, so everybody that was there was like staying in the shade, and you know, they were like all sweating it up, and it was the end of the long weekend, so people were busted up. But I played it, and all the bartenders went absolutely ape shit, and they just got on the bar, and they were just going crazy and pouring liquor in everybody's mouth, and it was like,
Wow.
I was like, wow, I think we got something. This is
You're right.
they like it.
We just got to shout out
That's
someone
awesome.
said Cosmo should do a remix. Cosmo, you down? You want a remix?
Reaction. That's awesome.
Oh,
Groove Inc. Ralphie shouting out Cosmo for the remix.
Song is dope.
yep.
I can't wait to just like get
He
into
said he'd
it.
do it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh man, everybody, we got a lot of witnesses, Cosmo.
Wow. Who? Ben?
We want
What?
we want the Ben remix, and we want it done on the floppy drive.
I
We
can't
want
hear Ben.
Submitted on the floppy drive.
It's ill. That's gonna be ill. I can't hear you, Ben, but I just got what you said.
He says he wants to do the remix, but only if he can edit it reel to reel with the razor blade.
Dub plate only. Dub plate only.
That's what's up.
We're doing a
So
remix
Ben,
contest.
you feeling it? That's what's up.
Yep. We're doing a remix contest as well. We're gonna drop details on that next week. So since everybody got all this free time with quarantine, hit up those remixes.
And that's done. That's going to be done through Pioneer DJ. So shout out to Pioneer.
Shout out to Pioneer.
And I think they're going to sweeten the pot and throw in some gear or something. I'm not sure exactly, but it should be pretty official.
Nice.
Which is great.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm excited, man. I'm so
For
excited.
sure.
Finally, see, it took a while. You know,
it's real good jump. Yeah.
It took a while for it to see the light of
Awesomeness.
day. We worked on this record for a long time. One of those records that just took a while,
Soon
but
to be released. Absolutely.
it's finally
So
here.
it's the 22nd?
Release week.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, guys. Well, I guess that's
the
about
contest.
all the schmoozing we can do today, right?
That's all the schmoozing. And I think that, which means, let me hit the
Schmoozing.
Yeah, it's all that. I have so many more questions for everybody and so much more to learn from Lori and from Cozmo. Cozmo, thank you. You're an absolute legend, staple in our scene and hip hop and electro. And
it's been so amazing
many.
connecting with you, man.
Absolutely.
So amazing connecting.
For sure.
Love you guys.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. That's humbling.
Love to you.
We're gonna shout you
Stay safe out there.
I think it would be great to do some sort of playlist together of some of your material and some of our favorite of your material to promote this record.
I bet there's music. I bet there's music that we don't even know is you that we have. I'm like, considering how many aliases you have, how prolific you are. I want to hear about some of your maybe forgotten or overlooked ones at some point.
Might be a couple.
It's playing coy.
I'm not as prolific as you guys think.
Well,
I'm a lazy motherfucker, man.
I love it. Cool. Well, give our love to Lady E.
Yes,
and
sir.
I hope everybody's safe and sound in your household for sure.
Absolutely.
So
Gloria,
trying
Shanti,
time.
thank you so much.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you,
We'll be
ladies.
down in Brooklyn.
This has been a fun show. I don't really want to end, but I think maybe we should move on to our vinyl thoughts.
Well, we got some big news. You know, I mentioned it before. We have our House of E-Funk live stream this Saturday night. That's going to be on our Twitch, twitch.tv/soulclapofficial.
Yeah, come on our Twitch. Come check out our Twitch. We're
still
still growing it.
We're just growing it up right now.
Slowly and surely, but like
help us plant some flowers and plants and food, some tomato plants.
We like tomatoes. We also appreciate a pepper or two.
Arugula, for sure. Arugula.
That shit can get real spicy though. My girl does not like it when it's spicy, and I love it when it's spicy.
Arugula.
I know. I'm like, what's up with that?
I think it's by like season. Like I don't know. Once the weather gets warmer, the arugula gets spicy.
Damn, that's why it's spicy down here.
Haya over here, she grows that spicy arugula. You know, she's into
Ooh, Haya.
Spicy,
We love you.
spicy. Yeah, so that's that. And the record comes out on Friday. You can get it on our Bandcamp, soulclap.bandcamp.com, and also on Spotify, of course. But Bandcamp is where we actually can see some money from it. So yeah, if you buy it, love you.
Support the artists.
We'll be back next week with Tom Trajo.
Hey, go off to get the beer stone.
Yeah, shout out to Tom from Amsterdam, our Amsterdam fam. Gonna find out what it's like over there on the other side of the pond.
For sure.
And talk about some memories together in Amsterdam and some music that Charlie and Tom have written over the years. There's some special music.
Oh, yep.
So yeah, we'll see you all next week right here.
Hit the wiki. Yeah.
Shout out to the Lost Resort team. Shout out to producers Johnny and Zach and everybody, all y'all, for tuning in.
Yes.
We love you.
We do love you. Let's give them the vinyl thought.
Oh yeah, Vinyl Thoughts, right? Oh
yep,
yeah,
of course.
You mentioned to me it was Grace Jones' birthday yesterday.
Yes, I saw that on social media yesterday. Happy birthday, Grace!
Grace
in your
Jones.
face.
Grace Jones. I got to see her perform a few years ago at Afropunk in Brooklyn.
Yep,
That was
amazing.
She is close to 70. She's definitely in her 60s, and
Yep.
she came out nude in just body paint.
Yep,
And it
straight
was-
up.
Still had the ridiculous dance moves.
Yep, and I
ridiculous
remember
body. She
they
is
did
queen. If I
they
ever see
did Slave to the Rhythm, and she hula hooped the entire song
Yep.
and kept hula hooping for the rest of the show. I mean, I can't hula hoop, but I'm not Grace Jones.
You can.
It's one of the. It's the only reason I'm not Grace Jones.
You know, here's a hula hoop story. I thought I could hula hoop, and then I was at Burning Man, and Mikey Tello was there with his dad, and his dad's out there hula hooping, and I'm like, "Oh, let me hula hoop," and he's like, "Yeah, go, give it a try." I couldn't hula hoop.
Oh, I remember that,
That was pathetic,
dude. And then they made fun of you, Eli. They're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
you can't hula hoop. You can't beep. You can't F word."
Yep, for
But
sure.
you're showing them that it doesn't take rotational movements. You can give them the back and forth.
I could be good at that. I'm like spinning records around in circles all day. You know, I'm like, oh, it's the same thing, right? Same thing, hula hooping.
No, that's
All
tough.
right, so yeah, our vinyl thoughts today are Grace Jones. Pull up to the bumper. Happy birthday, Grace. This is actually a Back to Vinyl Connection, a special disco mix of Pull Up to the Bumper we got at Vinyl Connection back in the day. And there's Grace.
Artwork.
Yes,
she
what
is.
dope artwork.
She's in a
I'm going to
cage.
switch over to my camera and I'll see y'all next week.
And she's, in case everybody who loves Kim Kardashian, that famous photo of the on Paper Magazine, that is a ripoff of Grace. Is it? I could be wrong.
Who loves Kim Kardashian?
I'm not saying I love Kim Kardashian. I'm saying I love
All
Grace
those
Jones. Grace,
She ripped off Grace Jones. Right
happy
here.
birthday, Grace. We love you.
Schmoozing.